Peter Parker develops organic web shooters. This theory has been circulating for months, and recent merchandise leaks might have confirmed it. Images of Brand New Day crew gifts show Spider-Man's suit, and fans notice something missing: the mechanical web shooters. In every Tom Holland Spider-Man film, Peter uses wrist-mounted web shooters, devices he built himself using Stark technology and later simplified after No Way Home. But in the leaked Brand New Day merchandise, the suit has no visible web shooters, which suggests Peter's powers have evolved. He can now produce organic webbing from his body, just like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. This would be a massive change for the MCU. Organic web shooters were controversial when Sam Raimi's Spider-Man introduced them in 2002. Comic purists hated it, but it made sense for the story. It was one less thing to explain, and it made Peter's powers feel more complete. The MCU bringing back organic webbing would be a direct homage to Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland has already said his new suit was influenced by both Tobey and Andrew Garfield's costumes. He wanted to pay respects to the Spider-Men who came before him. Organic webbing would be the ultimate tribute. This theory ties directly into the next one, and it's the most likely explanation for why Peter's suit suddenly has no web shooters. Peter bonds with the symbiote. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and Brand New Day might be the perfect time. The Venom symbiote left a piece of itself in the MCU during the No Way Home post-credits scene. Eddie Brock was pulled into the MCU by Doctor Strange's spell. He sat at a bar, got drunk, and when the spell reversed, Eddie was sent back to his universe. But a piece of Venom stayed behind. That piece is still out there, and Peter Parker is going to find it. The theory goes like this: Peter is struggling. He's alone, no one remembers him. He's living in a tiny apartment, working low-wage jobs, and fighting crime every night with no recognition. No thanks, no support. He's exhausted, burned out, and desperate for power. When he finds the symbiote, it offers him everything he needs: strength, confidence, the ability to protect the city without limits, and Peter bonds with it willingly. The Black Suit Spider-Man arc is one of the most iconic storylines in Marvel Comics. Fans have been begging for it in the MCU for years, and Tom Holland's version would be the darkest, most grounded take yet. If Peter does bond with the symbiote, it won't be a full Venom transformation. The MCU already has Venom in Sony's Spider-Man universe. This would be different. Peter would wear the black suit, feel the symbiote's influence, and eventually realize it's corrupting him. He'd remove it before it fully takes over, and that's when the symbiote finds its next host, setting up a future Venom vs. Spider-Man movie, or introducing Knull, the symbiote god who debuted in Venom: The Last Dance. Either way, the black suit is coming, and it's going to change Peter Parker forever. Before we get to the third theory, we're sitting at 535 subscribers, and we're trying to hit 1,000. We don't make any money doing this, we just love this stuff. So, if you're enjoying the video, subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps more than you think. Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. Sadie Sink's role in Brand New Day is the biggest mystery of the entire production. Marvel has gone to extreme lengths to hide her character.
We talked last time a little bit about Marvel. You were very cagey. You were very cagey,
yeah.
But it's not Jean Grey, I hear. Now I'm hearing Gwen Stacy. I was so close. What do you say to my theory?
I still say nothing. We're at the Tony Awards. Let's enjoy it. Yes.
On set, she's covered head to toe, wearing hoods, wrapped in coats, looking like what she calls a penguin. Tom Holland can wave to fans. Sadie Sink has to hide. That level of secrecy means her character is either a major spoiler or a massive reveal. And the most popular theory? She's playing Jean Grey. The Jean Grey theory started before Sadie Sink was even cast. Fans campaigned for her to play the iconic X-Men character. And when she was announced for Brand New Day, the internet exploded. The timing is perfect. X-Men are entering the MCU. Avengers Doomsday will feature the Fox X-Men cast, and Marvel needs to establish the new generation of mutants. Introducing Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie would be unexpected, but it's not unprecedented. The MCU loves surprise cameos and character debuts, and if Sadie Sink is playing a young, street-level version of Jean Grey who hasn't discovered her full powers yet, Brand New Day is the perfect place to introduce her. Set photos show Sadie Sink wearing green and yellow colors, Jean Grey's traditional comic book outfit. She's also seen in scenes where she appears to be getting arrested, a street urchin, someone not on the right side of the law. This matches the Ultimate Universe version of Jean Grey created by Mark Millar. In that timeline, Jean was a troubled youth, committed to a psychiatric hospital, tormented by visions of the Phoenix Force, much darker than the traditional Jean Grey, and a perfect fit for the MCU's grounded, realistic approach. Sadie Sink has been coy about the role. When asked about the Jean Grey rumors, she said the theory existed before I even knew I was working on this project. She's also confirmed for Avengers Secret Wars. If she's just playing Spider-Man's new love interest, Why would she appear in Secret Wars? Hulk reverts to Savage Hulk after exposure to Devil's Breath. Mark Ruffalo is in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that's huge. Bruce Banner hasn't had a major role in an MCU project since She-Hulk, but his appearance in Brand New Day might finally give fans what they've been asking for since Endgame: Savage Hulk. The theory goes like this. In the comics, Mr. Negative created a bioweapon called Devil's Breath. It's a poison designed to target crime families and amplify rage. In the Insomniac Spider-Man video games, Devil's Breath was adapted as a weapon that transforms people and increases aggression. If Mr. Negative releases Devil's Breath in New York, Bruce Banner could be exposed. And if the toxin triggers a rage response, it could undo years of Bruce's work to control the Hulk. Smart Hulk could revert, the Savage Hulk could return, and Peter Parker would have to stop him. This would explain why Marvel is bringing Hulk into a Spider-Man movie. They want Spider-Man to fight Hulk, not a friendly team-up. A real fight. Peter using his agility and intelligence to take down a rampaging monster. It would be one of the most intense action sequences in MCU history, and it would give Bruce Banner a real arc. He's been stuck as Smart Hulk since Endgame. Fans are tired of it. They want the Hulk to be dangerous again. Unpredictable, terrifying. Devil's Breath could be the catalyst for that transformation. And Brand New Day could be the movie that brings Savage Hulk back. Peter grows 6 arms and transforms into Man-Spider. This is one of the darkest theories circulating, and it comes straight from the comics, the 6-Armed Saga. In the original storyline from Amazing Spider-Man Has-Han 00 to 102, Peter Parker becomes overwhelmed by his life as Spider-Man. He's exhausted, traumatized, and desperate to be normal again, so he creates a serum to remove his spider powers. But instead of curing him, the serum accelerates his mutation. He grows 4 extra arms, 6 total, and he begins transforming into something inhuman, a feral man-spider. The theory for Brand New Day is that Peter's powers are evolving. The organic web shooters are just the beginning. His spider DNA is mutating further, and he's losing control. Maybe it's triggered by exposure to the symbiote, maybe it's a reaction to Devil's Breath from Mr. Negative, or maybe it's just the natural progression of his powers. Either way, Peter starts changing. He grows extra arms, his senses become more animalistic, and he begins to lose his humanity. The 6-Armed Saga has been adapted multiple times in Spider-Man cartoons. It's iconic, horrifying, and it would give the MCU a body horror storyline unlike anything they've done before. Imagine Tom Holland's Peter Parker looking in the mirror and seeing 4 extra arms sprouting from his torso, feeling himself becoming less human, more spider, losing the ability to think clearly, becoming a monster. This would explain why Brand New Day is being described as a tonal shift. It's darker, more mature. And if Peter fully transforms into Man-Spider, even temporarily, it would be terrifying. The theory goes even further. Some fans believe Peter loses complete control. He becomes a mindless creature, hunted by the authorities, feared by the public, and only saved when someone like Bruce Banner or Curt Connors finds a cure. This would tie directly into the next theory. Because if Peter nearly dies during this transformation, something would need to save him, and that something could be the symbiote. Peter dies at the end. This is the most shocking theory, and it explains everything. Peter Parker dies at the end of Brand New Day. That's why he's not in Avengers Doomsday. The theory goes like this. The climax of Brand New Day sees Peter fighting Hulk. Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk, driven into a rage by Devil's Breath or some other catalyst. Peter tries to stop him, tries to calm him down, but Hulk is too strong, too fast, too angry. And in the fight, Hulk beats Peter to death, crushes him, breaks every bone in his body, leaves him dying in the rubble of New York. This would be the darkest ending to a Spider-Man movie ever. But it's not the end of Peter's story, because as Peter lies dying, the symbiote finds him. The piece of venom left behind in the MCU bonds with Peter to save his life. It heals him, restores him, and keeps him alive. But there's a cost. Peter is trapped. The symbiote won't let go. And for the next several months between Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday, Peter is either unconscious, healing, or struggling to separate from the symbiote. That's why he misses Doomsday. He's not dead, but he's not able to fight. Peter reconnects with MJ and Ned. The most heartbreaking theory, and the most likely. No Way Home ended with Peter choosing not to remind MJ and Ned who he is. He watched MJ through the window of the donut shop. He walked away, and he's been alone ever since. But Brand New Day will bring them back. Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are both confirmed for the film. The question is how much. Reports suggest Zendaya's role has been severely reduced due to her schedule, but she's still in the movie, which means Peter will see her again. The theory is that Peter tries to move on. He's living his life, fighting crime, going to college, but he can't stop thinking about MJ. So he seeks her out, not to remind her who he is, but just to see her, to make sure she's okay, and maybe, if he's lucky, to become friends again, as strangers. This would be devastating to watch. MJ and Peter meeting for the first time again, her not knowing him pretending he doesn't know her, the chemistry's still there, but the memory's gone. It's tragic, and it's exactly the kind of emotional weight Tom Holland has been talking about when he describes this movie as a rebirth. Peter can't go back to who he was, but he can try to build something new. Even if it hurts, Jacob Batalon's Ned could follow a similar path. Maybe Peter runs into Ned at college. They become friends again, slowly, carefully, without Ned ever knowing they were best friends before. Or maybe Peter avoids them both entirely. Too painful to be around them, too hard to pretend. Either way, MJ and Ned are in Brand New Day, and their scenes with Peter will be some of the most emotional moments in MCU history. Tom Holland's Spider-Man appears in Avengers Doomsday. Brand New Day releases the 31st of July 2026. Avengers Doomsday releases the 18th of December 2026. That's less than 5 months apart. And Tom Holland is confirmed for Doomsday. The question is how? Does Peter Parker get pulled into the multiverse crisis? Does Doctor Doom recruit him? Or does Brand New Day set up his involvement in Doomsday through a post-credit scene? The most popular theory is that Brand New Day ends with Peter being contacted by someone from S.H.I.E.L.D., the Avengers, or even Doctor Doom himself. The multiverse is collapsing, universes are dying, and Earth 616 needs Spider-Man. Peter has been operating as a street-level hero, focused on New York, staying small, but the world needs him again, and he can't say no. This would bridge the gap between Brand New Day's grounded story and Doomsday's massive multiverse event. Peter goes from fighting gang wars to fighting for the survival of reality itself. It's a huge tonal shift, but Marvel loves those. Another theory suggests Peter doesn't appear in Doomsday at all. He's busy in New York, dealing with his own problems, and the Avengers fight without him. But when Secret Wars happens in 2027, Spider-Man returns, older, more experienced, and ready to lead. Either way, Brand New Day is setting up the next phase of Peter Parker's story, and Avengers Doomsday is part of that. Whether he appears in the film or not, the events of Doomsday will impact Peter, and Secret Wars will force him to step up as one of the MCU's most important heroes.